What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Serial Productions. You guys, we're going to be diving deep into the ranking of Phase 4. Not the Disney Plus shows, we're talking strictly the movies. Though Phase 4 has been kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest with you guys. It's been a mixed bag for me. Some projects have been wonderful, some projects not so much. And we all are here with our different thoughts, views, and opinions on each project. My ranking of the Phase 4 films aren't going to be necessarily the same as you, and vice versa. And I get that, and I understand that, you guys. Let's have a civil convo about where we rank Marvel's Phase 4. Now, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was supposed to top off Phase 4, but we still have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which I do think is still a part of Phase 4. So Phase 5 officially won't start until Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium next February, which I cannot wait for. What a banger to start off Phase 5, you guys. It's going to be so much fun to see Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Cannot wait for that. But let's talk about the films in Phase 4. Now, you guys, there have been some hits. There have been some misses. Ultimately, I feel like I've enjoyed majority of the films in Phase 4. There have been 7 Marvel movies, you guys. 7 of them. And we're going to be giving, I'm going to be giving you guys my ranking from my least favorite to my favorite. And boy, oh boy, you guys, the box office hasn't necessarily been the greatest for Marvel Studios. I mean, they've only had one film reach $1 billion. That's it. And that's Spiderman No Way Home. Now, granted, I get we're still in a pandemic. I understand the box office isn't the same as it was like 2.5, 3 years ago. But it can be a little bit worrisome for Marvel Studios. I mean, I know that Disney, they're going off some layoffs right now. And, when you have your films not reaching the capability that they were once, reaching when, each Marvel film was granted to make $1 billion at least. There is some thoughts and opinions on that. Now, granted, a lot of these films aren't being released in China. So that's a nice chunk of the box office that they are going to be missing. But it's interesting to see what the final numbers for Wakanda Forever will be, you guys. But coming in at number 7, we're going to be ranking Thor, Love, and Thunder. Now, you guys know I had my thoughts and opinions on that film. I ultimately felt like it was just a parody of the character in that universe. Boy, oh boy, it was such a huge disappointment to me. I never thought too much Taika was going to be a problem, and it was. It was too much Taika written all over those characters. I mean, I loved Gore, but now I rewatched the film, I think maybe 2 or 3 times, and it wasted of a character. Gore, the children kidnapper, is what he was. He was wasted. How many gods did we see Gore kill? 1, and that was just the beginning? Ultimately wasted, you guys. So Thor, Love, and Thunder, like I said, it's just a parody of itself. Too much of a comedy. I'd be fine if we never see another Thor movie again. I don't need 4 Thor movies, and I hope we don't get 4 Thor movies, you guys. But number 7 coming for Thor, Love, and Thunder. Thunder. Number 6, we got Black Widow. Now, I like Black Widow. Black Widow's a lot of fun, but too bad it was about 6 years a little too late. Ultimately, I feel like Black Widow should have came out years ago. It's just, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige, or not even Kevin Feige, the leadership back then didn't necessarily probably have the confidence in releasing a Black Widow movie. I mean, and that's a shame to say. Ultimately, I like the world building. I like the brand new characters that they introduced of like Yelena Belova, the Red Guardian, the Taskmaster. Could have been a little bit better with that whole storyline. But ultimately, I had a good time with Black Widow. It was a lot of fun, spy espionage type film. Seeing the world of Black Widows. It was really fun to me. I still go back and watch Black Widow all the time, and I still have a good time with it. Especially, like I said, the performance of like Red Guardian, David Harbour. Can't wait to see him and Yelena in the Thunderbolts movie. That's going to be super exciting to see more of these characters return. But number 6 comes in at Black Widow. Number 5, we have Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao. Now, Eternals was a film everybody was skeptical about. Nobody really know how they felt about it. And ultimately, I mean, it was a bunch of brand new characters, a massive brand new story within the MCU lore. It was very different, but I enjoyed Eternals. I love the direction that Chloe Zhao went. I love all the Eternals with themselves. I love Cersei. I love Ajax. I love Phaetos. Everybody was so fun to see. Icarus, really, excited to see the future of Icarus. I don't think that Icarus died. I best believe that, a Celestial can bring back another version of Icarus. But ultimately, like I said, the world building of that film and the creative decisions of, the Celestials not doing anything while, Thanos was, destroying half of the planet and the emergence and all of that stuff was just crazy bonkers to me. It really was. And, the action, the cinematography, the score, I really enjoyed Eternal. So Eternals definitely, ranks number 5 for me on the list, you guys. Coming in at number 4, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Look, when I found out Sam Raimi was coming back to direct this film, I was like, holy crap, Sam Raimi's coming back to direct another Marvel movie, a multiverse Doctor Strange movie. How exciting. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness definitely exceeded my expectations. It was a lot of fun to see the whole multiverse shenanigans, seeing the Illuminati. It was so crazy to me, seeing, the introduction to America Chavez, this particular character, seeing Wanda's, her character and story arc really evolve after, WandaVision, seeing her being, the villain was so great. She was really one of the most standouts of this film. Visually, I think, it was just beautiful. And seeing Zombie Strange and just a little bit of the darker elements and the darker tones of Multiverse of Madness is really what drew me to it. Thanks to, excuse me, thanks to Sam Raimi. But ultimately, I had a good time with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Can't wait to see where they take the third film, with Clea showing up at the end, them going into the dark dimension and all that crazy stuff. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you guys, ranks in at number 4. Now we are diving deep into the top 3, you guys. Number 3 comes in at ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The introduction to this whole brand new character of ShangChi. Loved it. The action, the characters, the storytelling. This film really was so much fun, especially the villain, Wen Wu, you guys. What Marvel has done fantastic so far in Phase 4 are their villains. You have the Green Goblin, you know what I mean? You have Namor, not villains necessarily, or I would like to say anti-hero and / villains. They've done fantastic so far in Phase 4 with really upping the ante with their anti-heroes and villains. They really did a good job. And, to introduce somebody like Shang-Chi was just badass. And, the Legend of the Ten Rings and seeing all of that history just really leaves me wanting more. And the connection, I feel like that a lot of people are kind of undermining, or the Legend of the Ten Rings and the beacon that it was signaling, I feel like has a lot to do with Kang the Conqueror. I think that there's some history there that will be explored along with the bands of, Miss Marvel as well. So I feel like ultimately this will come full circle, you guys. And just to see the fantastical elements in the third act of this film was so dope. Dragons and it all. I just had such a good time with Shang-Chi. It was a lot of fun, you guys. That comes in at number 3. Then we come down to the top 2, you guys. Boy, oh boy, this was a difficult decision because both of these films have so much heart, so much emotional depth, so much grief. Great storytelling, action, you name it. But coming at number 2, you guys, it's got to go Spider-Man No Way Home. Look, Spider-Man No Way Home was a hell of a good time. The idea of bringing multiple Spider-Man, bringing the Spider-Verse ideas to a live-action film, bringing back Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and, the iconic villains of Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Green Goblin, Electro, was crazy to me. But they nailed the aspect of the film so well. John Watts did an incredible job. I don't blame him for wanting to take a couple of years off and not direct the Fantastic Four film. He just did a three-story character arc for Peter Parker / Spider-Man. And the way No Way Home ended, boy, oh boy, it was crazy bonkers. Seeing the death of Aunt May, just seeing Peter deal with so much grief, kind of like Shuri in a way. I mean, he's lost Tony Stark, he lost Uncle Ben, he lost Aunt May. There's so much grief. He lost his girlfriend, he lost his best friend. Ultimately, not death, but the idea of them knowing each other is no longer there. It was so incredible. And the performances of William Dafoe just really stole the show. Spider-Man No Way Home was crazy bonkers, and adding the elements of Doctor Strange and the whole, like I said, the whole multiverse concept was a banger. I still have so much fun. It's still the highest grossing film in Phase 4 and probably will remain the highest grossing film, I believe, at $1.9 billion, you guys. The highest grossing film of 2021 as well. And of course, number one, you have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You guys, that is my first film in Phase 4. I've grown this attachment to it, and the storytelling, the adversity, the grief that Shuri really embraced and had to go through, and the trials of everything, and it was so emotional. The introduction to Talokan and Namor being one of the greatest anti-heroes ever introduced. He did the anti-hero way better than Black Adam. Way better. He was so good. And at certain points, you sided with him as well. Ryan Coogler directed a film of the century. He did a wonderful job, you guys, from the score, Ludwig Göransson, and, you know, the cinematography, and I forgot her name, Ruth something. She does the whole, you know, character designs and costume designs. Everything landed. It was so an emotional film. It was so impactful. Everybody really upped the ante. Angela Bassett, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrero, you know, Winston Duke, Letitia Wright, everybody, Dominic Thorne, everybody embraced what they had to do in order to elevate this sequel without the beloved Chadwick Boseman. And it landed on every single element from you guys. There's nothing about this film I didn't like. There's nothing about this film I didn't enjoy. You know, it just ultimately just felt so humane and so poetic, and it was just so well made. I mean, this is a film that will definitely be talked about for ages. A film that, you know, will be so beloved in, you know, the comic book world and embraced. It was so good. Like I said, the adversity that Ryan Coogler and everybody had to do or to overcome to get this film made. Not every filmmaker could have done that shit. Not every filmmaker. You tell a filmmaker, okay, we need you to do this sequel. Your main actor had passed away. You think you know, any random filmmaker can do that? I wouldn't be surprised if many of them just dropped down and were like, you know what, I can't do this film, or, you know, we're just gonna have to cancel this movie. They did it with love, they did it with purity, they did it with emotion, and it just landed. It was great. So Wakanda Forever lands at number one for me on my list. Let's go through it again. So, number one, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Number two, Spiderman No Way Home. Number three, ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number four, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Number five, Eternals. Number six, Black Widow. And number seven, Thor Love and Thunder. What is you guys' ranking in the Phase 4 films? Please post your comments down below. Let me know. Let's have this talk. Let's talk it over. I'm pretty sure it's going to be different. I know most of you probably will have No Way Home at number one, and probably Thor Love and Thunder at number 7. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.